morning, welcome back to another video of the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today guys, we have been farming up once again, and obviously Shadowlands is right around the corner. Pre-patch is literally in the next couple of days. We got like 2 days before pre-patch hits, and what better yet to do some actual farming beforehand and get back into the swing of things. Actually, because I haven't been farming all that much when it comes towards open world farms and all that jazz, it's been mainly dungeon farming for transmog to stockpile in order for Shadowlands. I've actually started doing some more material farming, and thus has brought me to Terracar Forest once again. Basically, what we actually are going to be doing is we're actually going to be farming up alongside the river. Now, this one was actually originally covered by Student, and overall I wanted to test out and see how actual good this actually was in the grand scheme of things, as we are on the same server. So I wanted to like price match it and see, is it actually as good as I initially watched? And quite frankly, it's bloody good. And quite frankly, this farm is for the Dampscale Basilisk eyes, and overall I actually did an hour's worth of farming of this. We actually got a hold of 139 Dampscale Basilisk eyes, and I did this on my Skinner as well, because I know that these guys, when actually killed and looted, I can actually loot them obviously, but I can also skin them for other materials, which being crystal infused leather, which we had 92 of instead of 93 because we just looted one. We actually got 197 knot hide leather as well, and we actually got 77 fell scales. These sell relatively well in the grand scheme of things. The crystal infused leather and the fell scales sell moderately okay. They take a little bit longer than like the knot hide leather, hence why the price is a little bit higher on some of them, like the fell scales. Crystal infused leather, you usually get that one fluctuates quite a bit on price. At the moment it's down to like just under 5 gold. That's not really that good. But overall, you're mainly going for the Dampscale Basilisk guys. I just felt like adding the skinning to go along with this to see if I can increase the gold per hour on this farm. Now, aside from that, the Dampscale Basilisk eyes are on a sell rate of 0.1. That is brilliant because that means it sells relatively well. And for a valuation of 137 gold on the min bio, and on the market value is 149. And basically the region market value average is at 167 gold. This is really good, and I generally think this is quite actually very, very good in the grand scheme of things. Alongside that, what you'd actually be doing is by starting off, and this is how I started it off, and we're going to fly around because it's quite a bit of an area in order to show the actual farm. We start off here killing all the basilisks, and then we make our way down just over here. We'll follow the river down to the bottom, and this is where you will just be killing all of the Dampscale Basilisks and skinning them at the same time, because why not? If they drop skin and you're going to be killing them for the basilisk eyes, there's no point in leaving that loot for skinning along with that. That is my thinking on all of that. What you then will do is double back up to this point in the river right now, and you would make your way all the way down. Basilisks will start showing, obviously, and then you'll be able to actually take those out. They're all dotted along the area, and as long as you stick to the river, you will always find the basilisks. Now you'll come to the next fork in the road. Now, I noticed that if I went alongside the left-hand side and just kept killing the basilisks on the left-hand side, and because we will be doubling back, if I then just do a U-turn when I get to about this tree just over here, I can then take a right and take my way all the way around, back round, and go back up through the river, killing all of the basilisks on the opposite side of the river. Due to the fact that we're obviously doubling back, so that means why should we waste time doing that, trying to jump across and all that stuff when you're just going back anyway. So to get to this point here, I would jump over here and just take out the basilisk on this side, and then jump back onto this side of the river, and then dotting in between on this side as well, because we won't be doubling back as we follow the river down to the Alliance base, which is just over here. Basically, what you'll be wanting to do is, obviously we started here, we went down, we went up, and then we went down and back up again, and we got to about this point here. Now we'll want to go all the way up to here and just make our way up through the river. So we'll close that down and we'll finish the rest of the route, as well as killing all the basilisks as well. And it's a really easy route in order to do, because once you actually get to a point just about over here, we'll actually run out of basilisks in order to kill. And this is when we get to this spot here, which is literally located around about here of the Stonebreaker hold. This is where you'll want to get on your flying mount and go back over to the bottom again. So this is where you would mount up, and you'd have to just fly directly over to the other side of the river once you had killed all of the basilisks. The great thing about this, going in and out of the rivers and then doubling back and then flying back over, is you can do it in kind of a loop-esque fashion, but all of the mobs will have respawned by the time you get back to the beginning again. That is really handy in the grand scheme of things, because then that means you're never going to run out of mobs, which is something you want on a farm. You have a high gold per hour on this, and we'll show that in just a second. The items of note sell relatively fast in the grand scheme of things, 0.1 instead of like crystal infused leather, which is 0.06. The actual item of note we're actually farming for is the basilisk eyes, and they're at 0.1. That's really good. It's a reputation item, can be sold really well, and overall this is generally a very good farm. If we go into WorthIT, I actually did a record of it, and we can actually see that it's currently valued at 22,697 gold per hour at an overall sell rate of 0.1. So that's pretty good in the grand scheme of things. You get a load of stuff with this, and if you want to actually import this into your WorthIT, all you have to do is go to Recorder and just go to Import and go to my description, as the import thing will be there. Just paste it in here and press Import, and it will be inside your Recorder, in which it will actually show up for you and evaluate it based on your server. So it can fluctuate up or down or side to side. It doesn't really matter. It will just tell you what if it's worth it on your realm, hence WorthIT, and then you'll be able to see if you should really go do it for yourself. For me, it's about 22,000 gold per hour, decent sell rate. This is a great farm for me. Overall, would I recommend this? Yes, I'm making a video about it. It's definitely well worth it for myself, and obviously the WorthIT export or import is good for you guys, as you can see it before you even go ahead and do that farm. So I would highly recommend just importing it and seeing if it's worth it on your server before you go ahead and invest an hour of farming all of this stuff up. So that being the case, this is a very good farm and I generally love it. Overall, this is brilliant when fused with skinning, because you get a load of other materials that sell relatively well. Besides the crystal infused leather, that takes forever and a day to sell, but the others like fell scales and knothide leather sell relatively fast on my server as well. So treat the crystal infused leather that you get bonus alongside that as kind of like transmog, because it's like 0.06. It's going to take a while for it to sell, but it will sell eventually. The other things of note that I got a few bits of transmog that isn't really worth all that much if you really look into them, so nothing of note there. And the chunk O basilisks, 0.03 sell rate, and it's 28 silver. I'm just going to vendor it because it's not worth the hassle of actually selling that on the auction house. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much the farm for the day. So let's get back into the swing of things and go into the gold for the day. Okay, so the gold for the day is, let's open our mailbox up and let's have a look. And the gold for the day is 61,879 gold. The things of note for this one is Frostweave cloth. We sold 10,600 for not an awful lot. It was pretty much a bust, a break even on when I actually bought it for, but not too bad from my stockpiling. At least I got my gold back eventually. But gold floating shards, 3 of those for 3,219 gold. The Crush and Thrush and Roller Controller toy from the Daily and the Tanan Rares, 3,601 gold. Tome of Illusions are selling quite well for 2,375, 3,773 gold, as well as another one for Northrend as well. The other thing of note is Dampscale Basilisk Eyes. We actually sold 229 of them for 32,419 gold. So yeah, if you are wondering if they do sell, they do. they do sell. They sell relatively well. The next thing is Luminous Flux from my garrison. I wanted to see if I could actually sell it on for a profit, and we have. And that was 97 of them for 1,455 gold. The other things of note is Rune Cloth. We sold a load of it for not an awful lot of gold, and that was for 5,907 gold as well. So 61,879 gold. Let's pull that all in, and we can have a nice chunk of gold coming back into us. Obviously, we're getting back into the swing of things of farming up materials once again to get ourselves prepared for Shadowlands, and we've actually gone from like spending all of our gold in the last like couple of months, and we've now got ourselves back up to about 672,000 gold just from resetting markets and doing a few transmog farms and selling on that transmog and everything as well. So it's actually worked out quite beneficial just flipping the markets and doing all of that stuff just passively, like 20 minutes a day, just scanning through and resetting. And that's actually worked out quite well in the grand scheme of things. The other things of note for this week is not an awful lot. I've been really much focusing on gold, getting back into the gold farming, sorting out my characters for gold making, like Sky Golem craft, the other different types of things such as like the alchemy crafts for the daily cooldown on Pyrian bars. That's always one of the best bets when it comes towards your daily cooldown for alchemy. It's usually the most profitable than anything. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say for the day. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon? Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.